repeat myself, but I can't help but think our running into each other must have been divine intervention. If it hadn't been for you, Nora, I wouldn't be wearing this tipsy smile at the moment, so thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Lawrence, and I'm also very grateful to you. I'm so glad we got to meet.
Me too. But really, I shouldn't.
No, I should.
You shouldn't. I was the one who asked you to help me out with that crazy gold smuggling business. And to be perfectly honest, I'm still kind of shocked you actually went through with the whole thing.
I am too. I never even imagined I could do something like that. It's funny. I am strange, aren't I?
Well...
I had been thinking I would have to do something radical one day. I always knew I could not be dependent on the church forever. You helped me break away from them, and that is why I'm so thankful.
I'm not as great as you think I am. Merchants have a tendency to be egotistical.
So do shepherds, for that matter. It's true.
You are drinking, aren't you, Holo?
Your presence does not mean I cannot drink alone.
I do wish you'd join us in our conversation.
Hold on. Are you already drunk?
Me, a wise wolf who can consume an entire lake? 'Tis impossible on such a small amount.
All right. Sounds like our friend might just prefer to be left alone.
But...
After I drink a bit more, I shall join your conversation. So until that time...
Of course. We'll wait.
Now, what were we talking about? The food is here.
Wow, it looks so good! Thank you very much.
Do you want some too, Holo?
You said you would leave me alone, and that is all that I want.
Right, so sorry. Where were we?
Let me see. I think we were debating who was more thankful.
Right, but what was before that?
Oh, yes, it was about sheep and rock salt.
Ah, of course, that's it. Now then. I had no idea that sheep could find rock salt.
Yes. It's rather surprising how much they enjoy it, actually. For example, if you rub salt lightly on a rock, they will continue to lick it well after the salt is gone.
I wonder if that old story is true.
What story do you mean?
I've heard there's a town east of here that uses a particular type of torture involving sheep. I never imagined it could be true before now.
Torture involving sheep?
Yes. It's pretty funny, believe it or not. Basically, what they do is tie up their criminals and rub a bunch of salt on the bottoms of their feet.
Rub salt on their feet?
That man will never cease being an idiot.
Oh, excuse me. What happened after they rubbed them with salt?
Well, wouldn't the sheep lick the salt off?
They would.
They say at first the criminals laugh uncontrollably because they're being tickled.
No, stop!
That's a strange torture.
Yes, it's very unusual. Especially when you take into account the sheep won't stop licking once they taste the salt on the criminal's guilty feet. What do you think happens then?
Gee, I don't really know.
The criminal would be reformed through laughter and spread nothing but joy to all of those around him. They live happily ever after.
Is that story true?
I might have just made up that last part.
You are so silly.
First part of it was true, though. I mean, who knows what must go on in the minds of sheep?
Well, now that you mention it, whenever I eat dried meat, I usually get salt all over my hands. They're very good sheep, but how do I put this? They get too carried away sometimes. It can be frightening.
Well, luckily you have an obedient knight waiting to rescue you.
Yes, but Enoch sometimes works so hard, he forgets who's supposed to be in charge. I was only joking.
You know, Nora, your Enoch is exceptionally well trained. Which I'm sure is completely due to you being such an exceptional shepherd.
Oh, you're sweet.
What's wrong? You are drunk, aren't you?
I am not drunk.
Sure you're not. What am I gonna do with you?
It is not possible for me to be drunk on 3 cups of alcohol, is it?
Are you okay?
I cannot help but think of being alone in the wheat fields for so long, hundreds of years until recently. The days pass by peacefully. Yesterday was no different from today, and tomorrow was no different from the day after that. Time seemed only to move forward a few times a year. There was the annual Harvest Festival, the 2 sowing festivals, the festival to pray for no rain, and the festival to pray for no wind. The remaining time was a cluster of boredom. Ordinary day after ordinary day with no celebrations. Once I even watched a tiny sapling grow into a huge tree. Compared to that, while traveling, every day is a new experience. I feel reborn each morning. The time spent with my traveling peddler has only been a few short months, but it has been the equivalent of several decades. We would have a clamorous argument in the morning, but reconcile by lunch where I would tease him by making him clean the breadcrumbs from my mouth. We would have yet another fight over dinner at dusk, and quietly discuss the following day's affairs in the evening. I have had several experiences traveling and living with others. However, I cannot seem to remember them for some reason. I suppose I am too busy wondering what my partner was doing yesterday, what he was like last night, and what he will be like tomorrow. I used to cry when I was exhausted and thinking of home, but now, each day is so full and wonderful. I do not find myself feeling sad any longer. I cannot even pretend I am not having a good time. In fact, I am rather concerned I might be having too much fun. Heavy. Why am I at the inn? Sorry. No, that cannot have happened. No, it was just a nightmare. I refuse to believe it. I wonder why I... Of course, I was thrown off guard. It was his stupid face. When I do not like things, I get angry. I laugh when they are funny. To show him that side of me is unbecoming of the wise wolf. How can I live with myself for behaving in such a ridiculous manner? This is my preferred form. I can swiftly respond to enemies' attacks when I am as a wolf. He cannot help but expose himself as a fool. He is as if a silly cat. Perhaps I should be defenseless and insensitive like him in order to survive in this obtuse human world. Why is he not here? To think he is not at my side at a critical time such as this. Useless. Why am I reacting this way? Finally, you have come back to me.
Why didn't you tell me that you weren't feeling well?
Well,
You're not a child. Don't tell me you didn't notice until you fainted. Thank God we were here. What would we have done if this happened to you while we were traveling? I know you may find it hard to understand, but if you fall sick in a forest or a wasteland, you could die. You scared the hell out of me, you know?
I am sorry.
How are you feeling now? Any better?
I am fine. I believe the exhaustion has caught up with me.
So, it's not a special disease or anything?
Do not worry.
Oh, good. Thank God. I feel like I can breathe now.
You are good at overreacting.
Yeah, thanks. I guess once I started thinking about everything and what might have caused you to be sick, I thought, never mind.
Tell me, you thought what?
I thought it might be because I gave you those onions.
I am not a dog, you know.
Yeah, I know. You're Holo the Wise Wolf.
It is a shame I did not get the chance to enjoy the food and alcohol from the festival, though.
Did you forget I'm a merchant? I'm on top of it. I asked them to wrap up the leftovers for you.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. Do you want them now?
Of course.
I knew you'd say that. Let me check. Feels like you still have a fever. You were exhausted, weren't you?
It is all your fault.
What?
Your fingers are hard, like a wolf's nose, and it is very confusing for me. When wolves rub their noses together, to humans that would mean... I cannot say it.
Why not? What's wrong?
Nothing is wrong! Forget it!
Well, anyway, you're gonna have to wait on your food. Try and get some rest. Holo, are you up?
Can you not see me?
How are you feeling?
Can you not see me?
No, I cannot. Now I can tell. You look as pale as a spoiled princess from a rich family.
Thank you, I am hungry.
Well, there's a bit of good news. I'll see if I can get you some porridge or something.
I am thirsty as well. Did you bring me water?
Ah, no. Since you had a fever last night, I got you hard cider.
Are you serious?
Holo? Hey, are you okay? If only you were half as quiet normally as you are now.
You would get upset if I never spoke, sleeping in the cart all day.
Well, it wouldn't be fair if I were the only one awake.
If I did not speak up, you would take advantage and eat more than me during meals.
I'm a good deal bigger than you. That's just natural.
So in order to compete, shall I pretend to be bigger than you?
What's wrong?
It tastes odd.
Right. I diluted it some.
You did what? I thought my nose had decided to stop working.
Diluted